YouTube. Welcome back to another live stream. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Hold the door. 1 second. All right, I'm back. Back in action. Hey, guys. Happy Friday, everybody. Good morning, Lunchbox. How you doing, bro? How you doing? Today is the day. Trump is meeting with Vladimir Putin in Alaska. Let's see what happens. Hey, Clash of Clans Master. How are you doing, bro? Trump is meeting with Vladimir Putin in Alaska today. I wonder if he's on his way to Alaska yet. Does anyone know? Does anyone know if Vladimir is on his way to Alaska? I mean, not, well, Vladimir, but Trump as well. I meant to say Trump. But is Trump on his way to Alaska yet? Another day, another dollar. Cool. Awesome. Hell yeah. Let's check out the news, guys. We'll pull up the news here on my laptop and see what is the situation, what is going on. All en route. Nice. Awesome. Good to hear. Trump left 30 minutes ago. Spectacular. Spectacular. Trump's leadership is on the line. I'm seeing it's a news article from Fox. Well, not a news article, but a video. Both parties are falling in the traps that don't serve America. Former DNC deputy press secretary. No, I disagree. I don't know how the hell people can defend Gavin Newsom. Like, I can understand AOC, Hillary, even Bernie, even though he's a socialist and damn near a communist. But why the hell would you defend a criminal as big as Gavin Newsom? He's real American political mafia. That's all I gotta say. It's gonna be interesting. Literally anyone for president except Newsom. I swear. I can handle it, just not Newsom. Trump fires off warning shots. Let's see what this is about. It says Trump fires off warning shots to Putin. I don't know if this is 100% true, but I heard a couple years ago Trump said he's going to punch Putin in his mouth. But I don't know. Let's see, guys.
From President Trump's historic summit
Quick review.
In Anchorage, Alaska, on a military base. It'll mark the first time in 10 years the Russian president will step foot on U.S. soil, which is very close to theirs. And while the White House is calling the one-on-one meeting a listening exercise, President Trump is not mincing words, sending a warning shot today.
Russia face any consequences if Vladimir Putin does not agree to stop the war after your meeting on Friday?
Yes, they will. Yeah.
What will the consequences
there will be consequences.
Sanctions, tariffs?
There will be, I don't have to say, there will be very severe consequences.
I love it. No matter how this meeting goes, President Trump's dedication to ending this war is clear.
Both President Zelensky, and then I'll call probably in that order the leaders. There's a very good chance that we're going to have a second meeting, which will be more productive than the first, because the first is I'm going to find out where we are and what we're doing. If the first one goes okay, we'll have a quick second one. I would like to do it almost immediately, and we'll have a quick second meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky and myself, if they'd like to have me there.
And ideally, they end the conversation with a ceasefire. Here to discuss this and so much more is Brent Sadler, former Pentagon official, senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation. Brent, we know that Trump is going to go in there and he's going to be tough. What's the best way to handle Vladimir Putin? I talked to the press department over the White House. Vladimir Putin wanted this meeting. Asked Stephen Witkoff to give him this meeting. He's got the meeting. So what's his agenda?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it's important first to understand what pressures have been brought to bear to lead Putin to actually finally enter into what appears to be the beginning of a ceasefire negotiation with seriousness. One, there's been additional sanctions and pressure applied, so-called secondary sanctions on some of the biggest
Let's talk about the sanctions for the second. The Democrats really don't got enough brain cells to realize the difference between sanctions and tariffs. They're always screaming at me, oh, why doesn't America put tariffs on Russia? We have sanctions. Do you not understand what a sanction is? Please use Google, Democrats. Google. Use Urban Dictionary like you normally do. Use some kind of dictionary. I don't recommend Urban Dictionary. You should use Webster Dictionary, but shit, at least use the dumbass Urban Dictionary to tell you what a sanction is.
and customers of Russian oil, that is India and China. And without China's support, Russia's war machine starts to face severe industrial pressures on it. So I think that, and again, the additional threats on the dark fleet that's moving this oil to other customers, and the European countries and the United States working out a deal to send more equipment and
Smash the like
Ukraine.
button for
All that
President
together,
Trump.
I think places the pressure to compel Putin to come to the table.
Europeans came out of their call, reportedly, according to the New York Times, convinced that President Trump fully understands a ceasefire had to precede any type of land swap or discussion of giving up any type of land. And that's my words, giving up. He said, quote, as the German Chancellor, Trump knows Europe's positions and largely shares them. How do you think Putin feels about that? I'm sure he understands and is reading what we're reading.
Well, in typical Russian form, they're offering as the only negotiating point is a maximalist one, and that's not the true position. What actually can be gotten from the Russians. They're going to try and get as much territory for free. And of course, the Ukrainians are not equipped. They're not going to be able to continue this fight. And to kick the Russians out of Crimea as well as all of the Donbass is certainly a large task. But getting to a defensible line of control between the two, first step, freeze the line right now where it is, and then make sure that any adjustments, trading of territory, doesn't put the Ukrainians in a worse defensible position. A lot has been made of 5 very highly fortified cities in the Donbass. Defensible position.
Listen, Trump is a big dude. Wait, let's go back here. Listen, Putin might know judo, but look how big Trump is compared to him. This guy knows judo. I'm not going to lie, he rides on top of bears. He literally rides bears. He rides horses and bears. But damn, Mr. Trump could beat his ass. I'm sorry, guys.
Defensible position. A lot has been made of 5 very highly fortified cities in the Donbass. Ukraine controls.
So I want you to hear, it seems like the press, as usual, is rooting against President Trump. For example, the New York Times.
Okay, this is for all the Democrats out there that are completely delusional. Let's get one thing straight real quick. Ukraine is not winning this war. They've lost 20% of their land to Russia. Do you not see this red? Do you not see this red? Democrats will see this and they will say, well, Ukraine's actually winning the war. They're winning the war. No, they're not winning the war in any terms. They are getting dominated and destroyed. Absolutely wrecked. Absolutely wrecked.
A writer, Elizabeth Baumiller, slammed Trump for even having this meeting. Listen to this.
This is theater. He wants to show that he's moving forward on some kind of peace deal. But it set off huge alarms, as you said, in Europe. And the idea that they're meeting without Zelensky there, it's like your parents discussing your future without you involved.
Zelensky is on CocaCola. He's taking too much CocaCola. Every second he's going... That's my impression of a Ukraine president right there. I know a blowhead when I see one. He's on substances. There's 0% chance Zelensky is sober. 0% chance. The president of Ukraine is not sober. Send a Ukrainian hit squad after me. Do what you got to do, Ukraine. But he is not sober. Someone going like this and looking like that every 2 seconds. I don't care if they got cold or allergies. You ain't tweaking like that hard. Zelensky is on Coca-Cola. At least Vladimir Putin is sober. I'm not trying to be a pro-Russian sympathizer or any of that nonsense. I think what they did was wrong, but at least Putin is a respectable leader. At least Trump is a respectable leader, both sober and both taking charge of action. So hit that like button, subscribe. If you guys have any comments, questions, drop some super chats. Hell, if you want to see 300 to 400 push-ups for Donald Trump, for MAGA, you can drop a $20 super chat. I'll do 300 to 400. Or I can do 100 sit-ups. Sit-ups are harder, so it's really up to you guys. But double tap that screen, subscribe, let me know. Let's keep watching. I'm not trolling, I'm 100% serious. Ukrainian president is anything but sober.
Well, here's an example. I mean, flat out, Vladimir Putin says, I want to meet, but I don't want to meet with Zelensky yet. So the president had a choice. No meeting or meet one-on-one and see where we go from here. Did he make the right choice?
I think so. I wouldn't put a
Yes, obviously the president of Ukraine can't meet with Vladimir Putin yet. First off, he's on substances. He's on too much drugs. Putin does not respect drug addicts. Second off, they need to negotiate with Trump first. He's the main man running these negotiations. He's already ended 7 wars. Trump has already ended 7 wars. 7 wars President Trump has ended. So let him do his thing. Let him do his thing.
lot of stock in the New York Times on this.
Spam that
It's
like,
really
subscribe
important, as the
button.
president is saying, and I think he understands, and I think he is disabused of any kind of goodwill on the part from Putin.
Ukraine is going to lose the war.
Show me in real terms on the battlefield that you're serious. Stop the long-range attacks, stop targeting civilians, and show me that you're serious about a ceasefire before any of the pressure that President Trump is now putting on Putin is let up. I think that's the real test.
It's going to be very interesting. I'll have a chance to talk to the president tomorrow.
I'm from Florida, boys and girls.
Find out his mindset 24 hours from the big meeting as he heads up.
Ukraine will never win, and the Americans can't even tell me why they do need a win. Ukraine has lost the war. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Born and raised in the United States, Florida.
Well, exactly. And this is just the thing. Though overnight, Donald Trump did raise the possibility of even offering Putin economic.
Trump has already ended 7 wars. The tariffs are working. The economy is doing great. He's about to end the Russia-Ukrainian war. It's over. It's over. It's about to end. This is going to be war number 8 that Trump is going to end. Hey, good morning, Eric. We're just watching a few of these clips because Trump is on his way to Alaska to meet Vladimir Putin. For the first time in 50 years, a Russian leader is coming on American soil, and Vladimir is meeting with Trump. Zelensky is somewhere in the EU doing some bullshit and sniffing up lines of Peruvian marching powder. So yeah, we're definitely going to have this is going to be the 8th war. 8 wars President Trump is about to have ended. No, we're not giving away Alaska, yada yada. So shut the hell up, you dumbass Democrats. Alaska will always be ours, so stop crying like a bitch about Alaska. We bought Alaska fair and square. Zelensky is touching his nose all the way around. He's tweaking live on camera. There's 0% chance that the president of Ukraine is sober. Go ahead and send the Ukrainian hit squad. That is disgusting. You guys are weird. Keep smiling. I'm almost done. You fucking weirdos.
Incentives to end the war in Ukraine. He says, though, he's confident of peace.
Well, the Ukraine-Russian war is going to be the 8th war he's ended. Once he ends this is going to be the 8th war.
Have a listen to this.
The more important meeting will be the second meeting that we're having. We're going to have a meeting with President Putin, President Zelensky, myself, and maybe we'll bring some of the European leaders on, maybe not. I don't know that it's going to be very important. We're going to see what happens. And I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelensky will make peace. We'll see if they can get along. And if they can, it'll be great. If I weren't president, in my opinion, he would much rather take over all of Ukraine. But I am president, and he's not going to mess around with me.
Michael, I guess if Russia doesn't come to the table on this, I know that
Russia ain't messing with President Trump. Let's go back here. Let's watch Trump.
And he's not going to mess around with me.
Yep, damn right.
He would much rather take over all of Ukraine. But I am president, and he's not going to mess around with me.
Michael, I guess if Russia doesn't come to the table on this, I know that Trump's confident, but if Russia doesn't come to the table, how much does Trump have to then make good on his threat to impose significant sanctions on Russia?
Well, I think we'd all like to see President Trump follow through on those sanctions because they're what brought Putin to the table. So,
liberals are killing America.
Here, which is they come out of it with vague commitments to keep talking, no ceasefire, and the war continues, then that's the moment Trump needs to follow through on the sanctions. And I think that's the most likely outcome. The best outcome is they agree.
The Democrats don't know anything about our foreign policy. They scream at the top of their head, what about tariffs? We need to put tariffs on Russia. Sir, we have, sanctions on Russia. If you don't know what a sanction is, maybe do your research. There's something called Google. Imagine if liberals had to read a book to actually gain some political knowledge. Then that would never happen. But all they have to do is look it up on the internet and do some reading.
Agree a broad ceasefire that starts almost immediately. They freeze the conflict and they begin real negotiations. But I don't see that as a likely outcome.
If you think I'm cute, drop me a $20 super chat.
Stake here. It's just so important.
Anyone can type a bullshit comment.
And so we'll be watching it so closely. Michael, I just want to talk to you today. Mark's of
Only super chats get answers.
We have stood by the US side by side in every conflict, and now this relationship is being tested, even just this week, of course, through the record.
Okay, that's a lie. If you have a really good political comment or something that you want to say, it will get answered no matter what. But hit that like button, subscribe. Trump has made America look fantastic.
Of Palestine, that's frustrated the Trump administration further. I wonder 80 years later how our brave soldiers would feel to hear that our own Prime Minister has been praised for his courage, but by a terror group. What do you think?
Well, look, I think it was very predictable that Hamas was going to celebrate what Mr.
Do I think Trump is doing a good job? I know President Trump is doing a good job. This is facts. Hit that like, subscribe button.
Albanese is doing, and the idea that the government approach to the conflict in Gaza is somehow isolating Hamas is just magical, deluded thinking. Hamas has got an enormous boost out of countries that said...
Let's play the next video about President Trump. Vladimir is ready to make a deal.
Welcome back to BBC News. I'm Adina Campbell.
Oh, Jesus, I don't like BBC, but we'll watch it anyway.
Are going to sit down. They could talk for minutes. They could talk for hours. And after they conclude, we might see a joint press conference with both President Trump and President Putin.
This is badass. Badass.
Well, let's speak to the former Lithuanian Foreign Minister, Gabriel Lambis. He joins us from Vilnius. Good to have you with us here on BBC News. Of course, this is a high-stakes meeting, a lot riding.
Shout out the Lithuanians.
Well, I'm not particularly optimistic about the meeting. There is a slight chance that the meeting will not produce any result, and probably that would be counted as the best outcome of the meeting.
Hell no.
I think that it is very likely that the two leaders will emerge with a plan how to carve up an independent country and how to divide it in two, basically.
And what do you think will be going through the minds of the two leaders just hours before they do sit down for these crucial talks?
I think each of the leaders will be thinking that he has the other where he wants him. And I think that in a way, when we consider what are their potential outcomes, they might be right, and what are the potential intent.
It is Trump kissing Diddy. You never seen a joke. You never seen a joke of a thumbnail. You can't. It offends you to see an image of Trump kissing Diddy, Trump kissing Epstein. That offends you. You can't take a joke. These Diddy-crats love that kind of shit. You Diddy-crats, you tranny-crats should love it.
That might be right. President Trump will have a grand event, something that has not happened for a very long time. That will show him as a very important leader, setting the stage for the world events. And Putin, well, basically, he wants acknowledgement and confirmation that his attack on Ukraine is legitimized, and he can, basically plan for the next stage.
And of course, most of the world will be watching this meeting, and the international community, you have said, should be saying that that Ukraine should be expressing victory rather than sympathy. Can you just tell us a bit more about that and your stance in terms of that point?
Well, Ukrainians might be presented with a basically impossible choice. Imagine a person with a gun at his head, and offered, to take it or leave it. The proposal that comes out of the meeting of two leaders. So I think that Zelensky's position would be incredibly difficult, and European countries have to do everything in their power to support him and reject the deal if it is a carve-up of Ukraine.
And how confident are you in terms of a deal being reached today, considering there seems to be equal amounts of optimism and cynicism?
Well, look, I mean, there are people who are saying that Putin might reject the deal, and he will not accept any proposal made by Trump. But I think that there's also a chance that he will accept the deal and break it in next 24 hours, putting the blame on Ukrainians, on Europeans, on whoever that he wants. So basically, there's a lot of cynicism in the air in Anchorage, I'm sure, right now.
And at this point, who do you think has the upper hand?
Great point. Why do I think Trump has the authority and the right to broker a peace deal? Because America funded half of Ukraine's war. First off, we're owed hundreds of billions of dollars from Ukraine. Second off, Trump has every right to broker peace deals around the world. He's brokering peace deals around the world. 7 wars ended. 7 wars ended.
Well, unfortunately, not Ukrainians. I'm pretty confident that Putin believes that he's going to emerge as a winner of the meeting. He has a lot of cards in his hands and not much to lose.
Ukraine is losing the war, guys. It's going to be over if Trump doesn't step in. If anyone wants to see me do 300 to 400 push-ups, drop a $20 super chat. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, all super chats will be read out loud.
Again, I would.
Or 100 sit-ups for $20. Or 300 to 400 push-ups. Sit-ups are harder.
Gabriel Lambis, thank you very much for your time here on BBC News. Well, we.
Now, although the Ukrainians and the Europeans have reached a point where there is some concession about the fact that there will have to be territorial negotiations, there are red lines that are pretty fundamental from the Europeans on this, saying nothing negotiated before the Russians agree to a ceasefire. That was always the demand of President Trump. They're trying to hold him to that. The Europeans are saying they got an assurance from the American president earlier this week in their virtual summit that today's meeting wouldn't be about a carve-up of Ukraine, just agreed between the Americans and the Russians.
Fuck the EU. The EU doesn't decide what America does for their deals and their negotiations. Fuck EU. I hope Trump shits on them.
Without the Ukrainians at the table. So that's going to be fundamental to the outcome of this. But remember, if President Trump gets what he wants, which is a second meeting that would then lead to carving up territory in a city.
Trump stopped hanging out with Epstein 4 years before, he even got charged. So what the hell are you blabbering about? Do some fucking research, idiots.
Ceasefire. He's got to get President Putin to agree to that today, i.e. to sit in a room with Vladimir Zelensky and the American president in the next few days. Of course, President Putin can very easily veto that, and it's what gives him such a trump card with President Trump in this meeting today.
And Tom, you alluded there to a second meeting. How much do you think today's meeting is about show as opposed to substance, perhaps?
Yeah, it's a really important question because for Mr. Putin, remember the moment he steps onto American soil, he has something that he can tell his audience at home is a huge breakthrough, a strategic shift for Russia back into the global community, his re-entry onto the world stage, because Russia has been isolated by the West, led by the Americans, ever since he invaded Ukraine in early 2022. And so that is why the Ukrainians are saying it's already a victory before anything's even been discussed for Russia.
Listen, all the screaming Diddycrats, definitely hit the like and subscribe button first off. Second off, if you want to debate me about something why you hate Trump so bad, you can be live on my show, face-to-face on my live stream. Just join my Discord if you want to, debate so badly. And also, quick plug, this isn't related to politics or Donald Trump or anything like that, but definitely go check out my recent travel vlog. This is one hell of a travel vlog, guys. One hell of a travel vlog. Go check it out. Couture, Montenegro. You probably never heard of the country of Montenegro. You definitely got to check this video out. It's one hell of an entertaining video. Yeah, I know. I'll change the thumbnail, make it a little bit better and stuff like that. But this is one hell of a travel vlog. You're not going to want to miss it. Speaking about Europe and speaking about all this bullshit, you gotta check this out. You gotta check this out. One hell of a travel vlog. Go drop me a comment. Go drop me a like. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Typical Ed, if you keep spamming my comments, I'm banning you. You're hella annoying. Unless you drop a super chat, then you can keep in. If not, you're getting kicked out. Simple as that. Let's go back to the video now. Let's get back to the video of Trump ending all these wars.
In that sense, because you have a realignment, basically, between the Russians.
Your last warning, buddy. Then you're getting kicked out.
That the Russian delegation has been announced so far as much bigger than the American one. Mr. Putin is bringing not just his foreign and defense ministers, but his finance minister, Kirill Dmitriev, a key, a longtime friend, and his investment envoy, which I think tells you something about the terms in which Mr.
Go
Putin
check out my recent vlog to the country of Montenegro, guys. It's the best travel video of the entire summer. Best on YouTube, matter of fact. No video even gets close to it. Check that video out. Amazing, spectacular video. Go check it out. Couture, Montenegro, Alpine Coaster. It's an amazing, adventurous vlog. If you don't want to watch the most entertaining video of the summer, then that's on you. But if you want to get a true enjoyment, then you're definitely going to want to check this video out. Drop me a comment. If you drop me a comment on there, we can, I'll answer whatever you guys want me to on here on the live stream. But just drop me a comment, guys. We can do it.
Please.
Sorry.
They're buying our
No
weapons,
video, huh?
sending them to NATO, and NATO's sending us big, beautiful checks. But that I don't care about that. I care about it was a big factor when Biden spent $350 billion and got nothing. But what I do care about is they lost last week 7,011 people were lost. Almost all soldiers. 36 people in a town which got hit by a missile. But over 7,000 soldiers. It's crazy.
Can you describe a little bit, Mr. President, because I know you've had a lot of phone calls with President Putin. What's the difference in a face-to-face, in-person meeting?
Look, he's a smart guy. Been doing it for a long time, but so have I. Been doing it for a long time.
My Discord is in my bio.
That was much more difficult than what
Join my Discord, link in my bio.
we get along. There's a good respect level on both sides, and I think something's going to come of it. I noticed he's bringing a lot of business people from Russia, and that's good. I like that because they want to do business, but they're not doing business until we get the war settled.
Are you going to talk about business? Will you talk
business? We have the hottest country on earth. We have the hottest economy on earth. We have the hottest company.
Discord is linked in my bio, brother. Linked in my bio. We can debate live, have a conversation, whatever you want.
We're the hottest country. We were a dead country, like doornails. A dead country. 1 year ago, we were dead as a doornail. And now we have the hottest country. And he wants a piece of that because his country is not hot economically. In fact, it's the opposite. And China's not doing well economically. But we're all, look, I want everybody to do well. The war's got to stop and the killing's got to stop.
Mr. President, when you stop, thank you for coming back to take questions. We saw that Russia continued its violence into Ukraine last night, launching even more drones. What did you make of that?
I think they're trying to negotiate. He's trying to set a stage. I mean, in his mind, that helps him make a better deal. It actually hurts him. But in his mind, that helps him make a better deal if they can continue the killing. Maybe it's a part of the world. Maybe it's just his fabric, his genes, his genetics. But he thinks that makes him, gives him strength in negotiating. I think it hurts him, but I'll be talking to him about it later.
It's on the table for discussions today, Mr. President. Are the territorial swaps on the table? Will you be discussing that?
They'll be discussed, but I've got to let Ukraine make that decision. And I think they'll make a proper decision. But I'm not here to negotiate for Ukraine. I'm here to get them at a table. And I think you have two sides. Look, Vladimir Putin wanted to take all of Ukraine. If I wasn't president, he would right now be taking all of Ukraine. But he's not going to do it.
Mr. President, what did you mean?
Just one thing. What about depositing that in? The possibility of the United States providing security guarantees to Ukraine?
Maybe. Along with Europe and other countries. Not in the form of NATO, because that's not going to, there are certain things that aren't going to happen. But, yeah, along with Europe, there's a possibility of that.
Fixing the number of business people that President Putin is bringing along, is that something that you want to discuss with President Putin at this meeting?
If we make progress, I would discuss it, because that's one of the things that they would like. They'd like to get a piece of what I built in terms of the economy. Just so you know, we were a dead country with our economy. He wouldn't be interested. He wouldn't have been interested a year ago with the Biden economy. But he is interested in the Trump economy because we're doing. Wait till you see when those factories start opening up. We have hundreds of factories all over the country, and that includes auto factories, AI factories, and every other. They're all coming in because they want to beat the tariffs. Because if they open here.
Trump works 24 hours a day. If he accidentally makes a mistake on what he says, oh God, oh my God. But when Biden can't even speak one coherent sentence, Biden is the best president ever. Yay! Yay, Biden! He can't speak one sentence. But when Trump accidentally calls Alaska Russia because he's working 24 hours a day, oh my God, oh my God. He's giving Alaska to Russia. I mean, you guys were already saying he was giving Alaska to Russia way before he accidentally did that. And now you guys are even more delirious and delusional. Russia is not getting Alaska. They might be getting parts of Ukraine, most likely. Most likely.
They don't have to pay tariffs. If they don't open it.
But if you guys have any comments, questions, requests, they can all be taken via Super Chat.
This morning, a pivotal meeting. President Trump heading to Alaska. The self-proclaimed deal maker set to welcome Russia's veteran KGB officer turned leader Vladimir Putin for his first visit on U.S. soil in 10 years. In a big meeting, the Russian foreign minister arriving overnight.
Trump is ending wars.
The former Soviet Union saying, quote, "We have clear position. We will explain it." The president is tempering expectations of any breakthrough during today's summit.
There is a 25% chance that this meeting will not be a successful meeting, in which case I will run the country and we have made America great again.
President Trump saying he hopes today's meeting will lead to another one, including Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, who was not invited here.
All I want to do is set the table for the next meeting. I'd like to see it actually happen, maybe in Alaska, where we just stay because it's so much easier.
Still, there are some protests.
Trump has ended 7 wars.
And critics are accusing President Trump of rewarding a war criminal simply by agreeing to meet with Putin.
This summit meeting is a tremendous gift to Vladimir Putin.
The president's relationship with Putin is complicated, at times seeming to be deferential to him, like during that Helsinki summit, when he said he believed
actually 7 peace deals. 7 peace deals.
American intelligence officials.
President Putin,
7.
He just said it's not Russia.
We counted them live on stream. 7.
But just last month, venting his frustrations at Putin for defying calls to stop the killing.
We get a lot of vote thrown at it.
The Democrats can beg all they want. Can't they see I'm having a live stream talking, discussing about something? If they want me to hop off my stream right here, right now to debate them, they gotta pay. Drop a $20 super chat if you want the debate right now, or you can wait until I schedule it. Or if I even want to debate you, I gotta, what's the word for it? I gotta talk with you first to see how reasonable you are and if you can keep personal insults out of it. Because a lot of Democrats can't do that. But let's get back to the video here. Like I said, if you want to debate me right here, right now, $20 super chat. If not, you can wait in line like everybody else.
Despite Putin, for you want to know the truth, it's very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless.
But now President Trump's striking a more optimistic tone.
I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelensky will make peace.
Among the unanswered questions heading into today,
let's go back real quick. That was rudely interrupted by a Democrat.
I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelensky will make peace.
We can debate eventually, bro. I'm in your Discord. Hey, I appreciate your patience, brother. I'll message you on Discord. You can drop me your name. Thank you for the super chat and thank you for the patience, bro. I really appreciate you. See, you're a kind, respectful gentleman. A lot of the Diddycrats, Democrats, are not kind gentlemen that are patient like this man. Thank you, JJ. I appreciate your kindness and your patience with me because I'm trying to see what's going on right now with Trump and Russia. That's what this episode is about. This is not a debate live stream, but if someone wants to debate me that badly right now, right here, they can drop a $20 super chat. I can end this and we can do a little bit of a debate. If not, you can kindly wait with your patience in the Discord and I will get to you after I'm done with the stream and we can set it up. No, we're going to debate live here on YouTube, face to face, not on the Discord. On here on YouTube. You got to join the Discord so I can send you the YouTube link. But thank you for your kindness and patience, ladies and gentlemen.
Among the unanswered questions heading into today, what, if any, sweeteners, any incentives is President Trump willing to offer Vladimir Putin to get a ceasefire or a peace deal? And if you're looking for signals in diplomacy ahead of today's sessions, the Russian foreign minister's T-shirt is really a pretty deliberate one, reflecting how Putin remains committed to returning Russia to its former
That's the
Soviet
Russian
self.
minister? Dude looks like a mafia boss.
Soviet T-shirt. Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for
Trump 2028.
This morning at the train station in the eastern Ukrainian city.
Zelensky warns Putin doesn't want peace, but to control Ukraine. Yeah, you lost the war. You're going to have to give up 20% of your land, Ukraine, because you'll never win this war. I'm not pro-Russia. I'm not saying what Russia did was right, but they lost the war, and they're going to have to give up 20% of their land. Otherwise, people are going to keep dying forever, and they're going to lose their entire country. They might as well end it now.
City of Kramatorsk.
Hit that like, subscribe. Happy Friday, everybody.
Close in. The Ukrainian government yesterday ordered families with children to leave the surrounding area. A sign of how little confidence Ukrainians appear to have that President Trump and Vladimir Putin are about to hammer out a peace deal in Alaska. Viktor Trofimov and his fiancée Daria are heading out of the city. Russia will ask for a little piece of land, he says. The next day, they'll try to take Kyiv. President Zelensky in Europe, consulting allies, has warned he thinks Putin...
Guys, look up on X. Look up the video on YouTube of Zelensky in the EU right now. He looks like he's on CocaCola. I know a CocaCola head when I see one. This guy loves his Coca-Cola. But if you guys have any questions, comments, anything you'd like to discuss, specifically about this Russia-Ukraine war, but it can be anything about the world, U.S. politics, anything you want to talk about, really, you can drop a super chat. Or hell, I would even do 300 to 400 push-ups for a $20 super chat.
Doesn't want peace.
Or 100 sit-ups, because they're harder. They're harder. Sit-ups are harder.
Zelensky posting online that Ukraine requires security guarantees. Russia currently occupies about 20% of Ukraine. Ukrainians worry.
Exactly. They lost the war. They already lost 20% of the land. But the Democrats will scream, Ukraine is winning. Ukraine is winning. We can't give up. That is what you call Western propaganda. Ukraine is not winning. Talking about Russian propaganda, that's Western propaganda.
Be forced to surrender some or most of that territory under a U.S. brokered deal. Near the Russian border, we came across a funeral for a Ukrainian soldier killed in a recent Russian attack. His grieving mother was barely able to stand. Her son, Andriy Reshetilov, leaves behind 2 children, the youngest, a year old. The soldier's brother, Artem, also serving, agreed to speak for everyone.
How are you feeling about the war and peace talks and where all of this is going?
We don't have to compromise with the enemy and give up our beloved land because this enemy won't.
You're full of shit. Ukrainian propaganda. If you speak against your president, Zelensky, you're going to get your ass killed and put in prison. If you're actually a soldier in Ukraine, you care about ending the war. You know you ain't going to win. This is straight Ukrainian propaganda. Speaking about Russian propaganda, this is Ukrainian propaganda. This entire video is fucking Ukrainian propaganda. Other than the fact that they admit that they're losing.
Won't stop and will return even stronger, he said. The ceremony was over quickly, perhaps because there was a line.
And even as one funeral is wrapping up, another one is about to begin right next to where...
Yeah, why don't you want to end the war? People are dying. They don't have to die.
Ukrainians here tell me a bad deal with Russia won't stop the war and could make it worse.
Hey, my Serbian friend. Yeah, Eastern Europe does not use food stamps because they're superior. They can work for their food. And Eastern Europe, they can work for their food. Wow, who would have thought? You have to get a job and work for food. It's amazing. Just like in Africa, just like in Eastern Europe, it's spectacular.
Ukrainian soldiers and government officials we've been speaking to all have one piece of advice for President Trump today. Don't take Vladimir Putin at his word. Craig.
Such powerful images there. Our chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel, in Ukraine for us. Richard, thank you.
Yeah, brings us right to NBC's Kristen Welker, moderator of Meet the Press. That actually leads to my first question, Kristen, because the president has certainly gone hot and cold with Putin over the years, famously once crediting Putin, siding with Putin over American intelligence officials in Helsinki, but lately seeming to recognize that what Putin says on the phone isn't always genuine or on the level. So how is he approaching this now?
So Savannah, it's a great question. I just spoke to a senior administration official who says the president's mindset today is, quote, realistic, that this is likely a multi-step process and he's ready and positive about this step forward. But Savannah, to your point, there is a realism that has set in when you heard President Trump there in Peter's spot talk about the fact that Putin says one thing and then does another thing. So that is at the backdrop here. And one of the big questions I think that U.S. officials have, will Putin try to cloud these talks by bringing up his own agenda items, like trying to get a nuclear arms deal, like pushing the U.S. to relieve sanctions against Russia and Russian oil? Will President
Diddycrats in chat
not to negotiate any territory in this initial summit be knocked off of his game by President Putin? So that's why this type of a summit carries such high risks. And again, President Trump
hit that like and subscribe button.
Possibility, Savannah, of a second meeting that would include President Zelensky.
Kristen, a lot of folks recall President Trump promising to end the war in Ukraine within the first 24 hours.
This war to an end has been infinitely more complicated than he initially anticipated. And talking to Western U.S. officials, they say, look, a win for President Trump today would be to come away from this meeting with a temporary and unconditional ceasefire. That word unconditional, so significant, to give breathing room for a second round of talks. This president has cast himself as the deal maker in chief. He hasn't been able to close this deal. It's arguably the biggest one, Craig.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you. And of course, you're going to have the very latest on all this Sunday.
Trump is coming back to D.C. with a peace deal, ladies and gentlemen. You can be mad about that all you want. Let's see, do we got any other good news going on? Let's keep to ask Biden about the Epstein list. Oh, by the way, guys, I just uploaded a new TikTok video. So if you haven't seen that, go check that out. Euro.and.travel. Also, I have the best travel vlog out on YouTube right now. So if you haven't seen that, please go drop me a comment. Amazing, fantastic video. Check it out. It's awesome. Really, really good video. If you love America, you definitely got to check out this video because, it's an American traveling abroad. So definitely check it out. It's going to give you lots of entertainment. It's not like those other bullshit travel vlog videos out there that are boring as hell. Nah, this one is freaking entertaining, guys. You'll love it. Promise. Promise, guys. Promise. 9:30 p.m. tonight, live on television. Trump meeting with Putin. Let's see what happens. Oh, let's look at that RFK thing that's going on. Let's hear it.
The administration is off to a great start. Maha is on a roll.
Maha!
Down on vaccines, cleaning up baby formula, and promoting breastfeeding, the best first food for babies. States are banning fluoride and food dyes, and the presidential fitness test.
Hell yeah!
Will whip our kids.
Hell yeah!
Kennedy's next target: putting a stop to taxpayer-funded diabetes. He's making food stamps great again.
Oh, no more sugary sodas on taxpayers' dollars.
We all believe in free choice. We live in a democracy. People can make their own choice about what they're going to buy and what they're not going to buy. If you want to buy a sugary soda, you ought to be able to do that. But the U.S. taxpayer should not pay for it.
The numbers back him up. Of the $405 million spent on SNAP each day, 10% of it is spent on soda.
Jesus, 10%?
When you have
food stamps are for people to get healthy, nutritious meals, not to get fat as fuck. Do you ever notice the majority of people that are 600 pounds, they're all on food stamps? You ever notice that? Because I noticed it. How the fuck are they going to work? Sorry. How are they going to work if they're on food stamps? How are they going to work if they're 600 pounds on food stamps? How? I'm not saying on food stamps, but I'm saying how are they going to work if they're 600 pounds? They're not. They're on food stamps.
candy.
How did I notice that?
You can get fat all you want.
By meeting lots of them and also watching television with these 600-pound ladies. None of them work. You can't work when you're 600 pounds. Just common sense. You cannot work when you're 600 pounds, so you got to get food stamps.
But not on the taxpayer dime.
U.S. taxpayers should not be paying
Hello, Lorna.
to feed kids foods, the poorest kids in our country, with foods that are going to give them diabetes. And then my agency...
You can't even get out of bed when you're 600 pounds. What do you mean, why can't you work when you're 600 pounds?
Medicaid and Medicare paying for those injuries. So we're going to put an end to that, and we're doing it step by step.
I guess being on TV, being a fat reality TV star is probably the only job that 600-pound people can have. I'll be fair, that's a job. That's a job.
State by state.
Of the 12 states that have started rooting junk food out of SNAP, only one is Democrat-led. There's nothing more elitist than feeding ultra-processed microwave mac and cheese to poor kids while wealthier ones get Whole Foods. The left loved to talk about health and fitness when Michelle Obama was the face of it. They ignored the fact that she ruined school lunches, sold out to big...
Nope, you still can't work if you're 500 pounds.
It's all PR flash.
If you're obese in general, you probably can't work.
But now Bobby's actually making America healthy again.
Oh, look at that hat. That's beautiful.
While the left lectures you about yoga and climate change, Bobby, Marty, Jay, and Dr. Oz are keeping you fit, healthy, and restoring our trust in public health. Thanks to Democrats' incompetence and corruption, they ceded...
It's common sense. Forget about the 600-pound people I met. Forget about the 600-pound people I met. It's common sense. You can't get out of bed. You can't work if you're 600 pounds. We're not arguing about this. It's not an argument. It's a fact.
And senior advisor for MAHA at the White House, Callie Means, is here. Callie, so great to have you on. I mean, it's really incredible, isn't it? I mean, I went to the farmer's market, just 2 weeks ago, right on the mall, the first ever, time that's ever happened. And it wasn't, hippies and Birkenstocks. It was, put on by a Republican administration.
Rachel, Trump,
are you 600 pounds? Are you 600 pounds? 250,000 illegal immigrants were taken off our Social Security yesterday. That's a win for America. That is a win for America. Yeah, most overweight people are not 600 pounds. I agree.
has led the Democrats to be the party.
There's a difference between overweight and obese. So don't get offended.
Because, and I want to be clear, right, about 6 months for the Trump administration, we have seen...
I love America, but I see a lot of questions and comments in chat. If there's something specific you want to talk about, all super chats will be answered, discussed, talked about, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to say, it'll be read out loud. Even if it's the trolley-woolly.
And children's health in modern American history. And at every step, these bipartisan goals, these goals that Democrats have been talking about for decades and never got done. Cory Book.
Obesity isn't a certain weight. It matters about weight, height, size, everything.
Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, they're nowhere to be found. And it's just incredible. On the snap, it's actually at 21 states, Rachel. 21 almost predominantly Republican states are working to remove soda and candy from SNAP. Democrats, you won't believe this, but Democrats are actually arguing that it is wrong to take away government-funded soda for kids. President Trump has...
It's not wrong. Buy your own soda.
And very vocally defend government-funded soda. We've removed the food dyes, and you've had Democratic lawmakers actually argue that petroleum-based food dyes in 50% of our U.S. children's food supply is safe for American children. And you won't even believe this, but Democrats are actually saying that the beet...
Welfare is modern illegal slavery. Yes, sir, it is. At your size, you'd be considered obese around 250 pounds. Well, I can tell you right now, I'm 6'5". If I was 250 pounds, I probably... depends how much muscle I have. I could be considered healthy at 250 pounds at 6'5". As long as it's most of it's muscle and not fat.
actually going to be more harmful for them. You have school lunches. You actually have governors all over the country, Republicans, working with the state, working with the Trump administration to get healthier, whole, local food. Democrats are saying that's too expensive. We can't do that. We need to serve ultra-processed food for kids. And the exercise, the fitness commission. What could be more positive than the fitness commission? President Trump marshaling a bipartisan group, a diverse group of athletes to promote fitness for kids. Democrats are saying what President Obama said, who shut that commission down. It's too competitive, and it's not the right message to send to kids. So the Trump administration is executing just no-brainer policies, and the Democrats are nowhere to be found.
Yeah, it's so interesting because the left, the Democrats, they always want to say they're on the side of the poor. If you love the poor, why would you want to poison them? Why would you think that poor kids deserve less than wealthy kids when it comes to nutrition? It's just mind-boggling.
Because that's what the Democrats believe. Joe Biden said it himself. Poor kids are just as smart as white kids. That's what Joe Biden said. Does that not sound like an elitist who...
But maybe it's just revealing, Callie.
I think that's what President Trump and Secretary Kennedy tapped into in this campaign. I mean, you had women drive to Trump. Millions of first-time Trump voters for women. Independents were 50-50 for President Trump. Young people, 50-50. We've really realigned American politics. And, I don't think this election, Rachel, was about tactical healthcare policies, the Medicare, Medicaid reimbursement rates. That's not what's going to get our kids healthy. And we are achieving a lot on that. We've woken up a spiritual conversation about our kids' health, and we're just going to keep going.
It's amazing. Callie Means, Maha, thanks for joining us.
Maha! Maha! Let's see what other news we got going on. President Trump is the president of peace. He's
Senator
the president of
Marlene
peace.
Mullen joins me now. Senator, it's great to have you on. Do you think that peace will be President Trump's legacy? Greatest legacy?
Absolutely will be. He is the president. He is the president of peace, without question. When you start looking at what he's already accomplished, look at Pakistan and India, look at Kosovo and Serbia, look what he did in Rwanda and Congo and throughout Africa. He is constantly whacking down, and I seriously mean that, whacking down or knocking down these wars that have the potential to blow up. But President Trump understands negotiations. He understands peace through strength. He understands when to use strength and also when to shake hands on peace. He is the president that is trying to stop killing. He ran on this throughout the election, and he has delivered over and over again. Do we think that China, if Joe Biden was in office right now, if China wouldn't be invading Taiwan? Without question, all of us believe they would be. Do you think that Putin would be at the table with Joe Biden? Absolutely not. Joe Biden couldn't even find the table. What we're doing here is President Trump understands something about Putin that the rest of the world doesn't. President Trump understands that Putin values the dollar, which is why the sanctions are so scary to Putin, which has brought him to the table, more than he values life. He is absolutely scared that the ruble is going to go into a junk status. And by President Trump putting pressure on India and raising tariffs and also threatening to do it with China, it has forced Putin to the table. Because if this was just about stopping killing, it would already happen. But Putin doesn't value life at all. He just values the dollar.
Meanwhile, our president does care about life. And Senator, one of the things that struck me the most about President Trump throughout all of this.
We got 400 people in here. Smash that like, subscribe button. If you got any questions. Trump is the president of peace. Tariffs worked. Inflation is down. Grocery prices are down. Egg prices are down. Everything is cheaper than the last 4 years. It's fantastic. Thank you, President Trump. If you had any questions, anything you want me to read out loud, all you got to do is drop some super chats and let me know what you guys want to discuss. What you guys want to talk about? We can talk about it all. President Trump is the man. Double tap that screen. Like, subscribe. Hell, even if you don't like Trump, you gotta check out my crazy travel vlog that I posted. It's really amazing, guys. You gotta check it out. It's not even about politics or anything like that. It's just one hell of a video. Just one hell of a video. Check out the recent video on my channel, guys. You aren't gonna want to miss it. It is freaking killer. It's one hell of a video. That's all I'm gonna say. Go check it out. Look at that. Couture Montenegro. Definitely gotta go check that out. I'm telling you.
This is how he's talked.
Gas price is down $1.25 per gallon. It is amazing. It's fantastic. It's amazing. It is spectacular. President Trump is doing his job. Watch these deranged protesters yell at Fed agents in D.C.
But there's a new administration in town. Crime is no longer permissible in Washington, D.C., even if you vote for Democrats. Now, Sean Charles Dunn has since been fired by the Attorney General, will be held accountable in a court of law by the U.S. Attorney, our former colleague, our friend, Judge Janine Pirro. Take a look.
He thought it was funny.
Nowhere in America are gas prices up. Unless you're in California or unless you're in a blue state where they just raise the gas taxes. That's the only possible way.
Well, he doesn't think it's funny today because we charged him with a felony. Assault on a police officer. And
Our former colleague, our friend, Judge Janine Pirro. Take a look.
he thought it was funny. Well, he doesn't think it's funny today because we charged him with a felony. Assault on a police officer. And we're going to back the police to the hilt. So there, stick your Subway sandwich somewhere else.
Stick your Subway sandwich up your Democrat ass.
Sandwich assault is just the beginning of what will be weeks of temper tantrums from elites who have no problem sacrificing the safety of...
DC says freedom, not fascism. Freedom ain't walking down in the hood or down the street and getting shot or mugged. That's not freedom in DC. That's the opposite of freedom.
Of innocent citizens because they just, hate Donald Trump?
Like, do you look yourself in the mirror and think I did a good job today?
Yes, they did do a good job today because they're stopping crime. Democrats, what is wrong with stopping crime? Why do you hate the National Guard? Why? I don't understand. You hate being safe?
You're trying to arrest innocent people? What's your purpose? What's your goal? What's the motive? Why won't you show your face? Like, do you look yourself in the mirror and think I did a good job today?
Yes, they did a good job. I'll buy every single one of these men lunch.
Now, it's not only Washington elites who are outraged. The left-wing elites of New York City, they're also weighing in tonight. Take a look at your screen. The defenders of democracy at the New York Times op-ed are now expressing very deep disappointment.
So, you Diddycrats really want to bring out the thing, oh, the crime was low, the crime was low. I hate to say it, Diddycrats, but you're going to make me show the crime statistics and you're not going to be happy. First off, they lie about the crime statistics. Second off, the crime statistics they lie about says DC is more unsafe. You got more risk of getting murdered in DC than you do in Bogota, Colombia. Look at that. DC has a higher homicide rate than Bogota, Colombia. Hello, Diddycrats, Demoncrats. Doesn't matter what source you use. Look on Google. Who has a higher crime rate, DC or Bogota, Colombia? Who has a higher crime rate, DC or Mexico City? Who has a higher crime rate, Kenya or DC? Oh, DC. Who has a higher crime rate, Cuba or DC? A literal communist country has lower crime rates than DC. A literal third world country, Kenya, has lower crime rates than DC. I don't give a damn if it's a 100-year low. I don't give a damn if it's a 100-year low. We need to lower the crime rates in DC. Hey, Adria. How are you doing? How's everything? Good afternoon. You're in a cult. Okay, guys, let's get back to supporting our local law enforcement. DC needs more police and National Guard.
Appointment and America's troops for not waging a military coup against President Donald Trump. And now Chucky Schumer is pretending to be so worked up.
Chucky Schumer, spare me that fake liberal outrage.
They spent millions and millions of dollars studying how do we communicate to men? How do we act more like Donald Trump without being?
Listen, in the 2028 election, they're propping up this 600-pound chick to be the new masculine role model for men. That's never going to happen. Men don't want to hear a 600-pound bitch tell us about how to be a masculine role model.
Donald Trump, and this is their decision to curse a lot. Take a look.
If he went to Congress and said, you know what, there's this crime emergency, we need the National Guard out there longer, we need to take over Washington, D.C., would you grant it?
No way. We'll fight him tooth and nail.
All right, I have bad news for the Democratic Party. They have somehow picked the wrong side of an issue once again. It's an 80-20 issue. They're always on the 20 side. 90-10, they're on the 10 side. They, choose, the rights of men to play women's sports.
I have a friend that lives in Tennessee. Gas is not more in Tennessee. Gas is cheap in Tennessee. Cheap.
Over the safety
and so is food. It's both less.
And now they prefer the murder, rape.
I have a couple friends in Tennessee. You're a lying diddy-crat.
For law-abiding citizens, but don't take my word for it. Here is the chief statistician at even fake news CNN. Take a look.
I think this sort of gives the game away here because Donald Trump is like Air Jordan towering over Joe Biden when it comes to their handling of crime. Look, in 2024, look at where Biden's net approval was on crime. Way underwater there at minus 26 points. It was one of Biden's worst issues. Granted, pretty much every issue was one of Biden's worst issues. And again, look at where Donald Trump is. Way, way, way above Joe Biden.
It's the badge of honor for Democrats.
So Americans vastly prefer Donald Trump's approach to crime than they did to Joe Biden's. And again, I think it gets back to the point that Americans are far more hawkish on crime than a lot of Democrats want to admit.
It should come as no surprise. It's simple common sense. Americans, they want law and order, safety, security. Nobody wants to get killed, assaulted, carjacked on the way to the grocery store.
The Democrats do. They think that the crime rate is low enough in D.C. Don't lower the crime rate anymore in D.C. It's low enough. We need more crime in D.C., not less. That's really what the Democrats basically are saying. Illegal is illegal.
We have laws and law enforcement officers are there for a reason. It's why Americans don't support, defund, dismantle, no bad laws. Now the Trump administration is now committed to getting the criminals off the streets. That includes illegal aliens. And just moments ago, the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, delivered official demand letters to sanctuary cities, counties, and states ordering an end to unlawful sanctuary policies. Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. And sanctuary cities as well. Goodbye, sanctuary cities. Goodbye. Adios. But if you guys have any questions, comments, Jay Jones, I thought you were leaving because I was offending you. You're 600 pounds, or your wife is 600 pounds, and you don't like when I talk about 600-pound people. Listen, I love all people. They just need to get help. They need help. They don't need to be, encouraged, sucking down gallons of soda, etc., etc. It's horrible for them. They're getting poisoned. A lot of 600-pound people are enabled by their family. They'll bring them food to eat, big 2 liter sodas. It's horrible. We can't let that happen. Let's see what's going on in the rest of the world. Jesus. The Diddy rats are already out there protesting for Ukraine. What do they want us to do? Just give them $1 trillion more so they can lose the war? Do they want us to send 1 million troops in just so they can lose the war? What do the Diddy-crats, the pro-Ukrainian Diddy-crats want? It's like being pro-Palestine or pro-Israel. If you've never been there, I don't see a freaking point.
Good morning, Charlotte. 4 a.m. here in Anchorage, and I'm standing outside Joint Base Elmendorf. Raiders took over a large segment of downtown Anchorage yesterday evening. And
more CocaCola for Zelensky. Maybe he is a war criminal. But that doesn't mean that we should stand and give Ukraine all our money. I'm sorry. That's a horrible fucking idea. This is going out worse than the Vietnam War. Worse than the Vietnam War.
what was surprising was seeing some of the signage that was very not just anti-Putin, but anti-Trump. We did speak to quite a few of those protesters. Here's what one of them had to say.
I hate Trump! Fuck Trump! That's how she's gonna sound.
And maybe some bits of Donetsk stay in Russia. NATO need be no barrier for a bilateral security alliance between the United States and Ukraine.
Now, you heard that woman say they're getting bits of Donetsk. That's a part of Ukrainian territory that was taken by the invading Russians during this full-scale invasion back in 2022. Now,
guarantee she's never been to Ukraine or Russia.
Territory, and the concern of these protests.
One of my friends are in Russia right now, and I asked, am I able to come there even with the content I make? And they said, yeah, but I don't know. Maybe in a couple of years I could try going to Ukraine and Russia once this whole situation ends. I have people that are trying to get me to go there already, but hell no, I'm not going there. I know some people that go to Ukraine like a couple times a year. I have a friend that went to Ukraine 3 times this year. 3 times! To Kyiv! So it's not as crazy as a lot of people and Americans believe from this propaganda, but yeah, there's definitely a war going on, but it's mostly on the borders and the outskirts. But the capital is also being attacked and bombed sometimes. They heard drone attacks and stuff like that. Like, they said, oh, you can go to Kyiv, you'll just hear explosions and drone attacks. I'm like, oh, no, I'm good with that. They were, like, being dead-ass serious. I'm like, no, thank you. They're like, yeah, you can come in, no problem. I'm like, no, I'm good. But I do want to go to Moscow. And I do want to go to Kyiv eventually. I have no standing in this war. I'm not involved. Let's all go. Class trip.
Protesters, by and large, was that they believed that a meeting like this could lead to a freezing of the conflicts. Everybody goes home, takes what they have currently on the table. The Russians would get about 18% of Ukrainian territories if you froze those current front lines right now and redrew the borders. Now, this is something that President Trump has reassured European leaders is not going to happen during this meeting today, that they're not going to discuss ceding any Ukrainian territory to the Russians with the Ukrainians not in the room. Today is a meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin as an opportunity, as President Trump says, to gauge where the Russians are at and trying to determine if they're serious about achieving peace here. But either way, we're looking at an incredible moment where a wartime leader in Vladimir Putin is about to set foot on U.S. soil, and you would imagine there will be pictures of him side by side with President Trump in just a few hours' time. Those pictures will be shared and seen around the world. Charlotte?
All right, Zach Anders.
Zach Anders. Long live Mr. Trump.
Well, Donald Trump's detractors have come.
Not the insult you think. CNN compares Donald Trump to Batman. Pretty damn accurate if you ask me. But let's watch this. I want to watch CNN say, "Oh, Trump is Batman."
With all
He is Batman.
nasty names for him. They've called him Hitler. They've called him a dictator. They've called him all sorts of things. And they've come up with a new one, Jamie.
Oh, James, this one is fantastic. CNN's Abby Phillip has given the president a new nickname, and this is off the back of him deploying troops in Washington, D.C. Now, it was clearly an accident, but MAGA supporters were quick to jump on board and celebrate this new name.
Let's get right to what America's talking about. Donald Trump makes himself Batman, and the nation's capital is Gotham City. The president of the United States has declared himself crime fighter in chief, and he's taking over Washington's police force. It is a move.
Hell yeah, thank you, CNN. Much appreciated, CNN.
And then we can see here there is an image of Batman that was put up by Babylon B. And guys, you can see why here. Batman, this is going to stick. Donald Trump would be having a field day with this. They're standing in what we can also
I guarantee you he's going to be reposting this on social media in a couple hours.
Feels about being, because he would be Robin.
He's Robin. But look, calling Trump Batman is really not the insult this CNN anchor thinks it is at all. It's kind of cool. It's kind of gangster. But something that's a little less cool is what's happening in New York. Young people in New York clearly need to have more babies and less dogs because some are avoiding family gatherings and refusing to get on planes without their dogs. Jill Zhu, a 28-year-old, pays extra to take his dog with her.
And this is why the white man is losing. Not enough kids. Too many. I love dogs. Don't get me wrong. I love dogs, but too many damn dogs and not enough kids. Everyone out there watching, white men, unite. Have minimum 10 to 15 kids. Trump definitely volumes the sub-bandwidth, the suit with farts. They just called. Let me turn this back for you. Let's turn back to Trump as Batman, Chris. You forget. CNN just called Trump Batman. I mean, it's true.
Batman that was put up by Babylon B. And guys, you can see why here.
I'm just joking, by the way. You don't have to have 10 kids. 5 is enough, Lunchbox. Five kids is enough. It was just a little bit of a joke. 5 is enough. You're helping the white man out.
Stick. Donald Trump would be having a field day with this. They're standing in what we can also now call Gotham City, aka Washington, D.C.
I want to know how J.D. Vance feels about being, because he would be Robin.
He's Robin. But look, calling...
See, that's where the white man is losing. They're saying too much money, too much money. 5 kids is enough. It was just a joke, guys. You don't need 10 to 15, but 5 is enough. For some people, at least a couple. That's all I'm saying. It was just a little bit of a joke. Just a couple kids.
Batman, this is going to stick. Donald Trump would be having a field day.
That is Trump! Chris, that is Trump, my guy. That is Trump. That is certified Trump right there. Look at that, my guy. He's going to post that on True Social.
An image of Batman that was put up by Babylon B. And guys, you can see why here. Batman, this is going to stick. Donald Trump would be having a field day with this. They're standing in what we can also now call Gotham City, aka Washington, D.C.
I want to know how J.D. Vance feels about being, because he would be Robin.
He's Robin.
Oh, we got to make a meme about this. Time to turn on that AI machine that I got and start making Trump Batman memes. Batman and make J.D. Vance Robin. But here, let's go back to the actual clip where the CNN reporter called Trump Batman. I like to watch this again. Just for Chris. If you're out there, Chris, this is for you, bro. Take a listen if you're at work or in your office or having lunch. Listen up.
Talking about Donald Trump makes himself Batman, and the nation's capital is Gotham City.
Hell yeah, I agree, CNN, I agree. The irony of the world, the irony of reality, I find myself more and more agreeing with CNN day by day.
Taking over Washington's police force, it is a move that the D.C. mayor is calling unsettling and unprecedented.
Unsettling.
There was an image of Batman that was put up by Babylon B, and guys.
My G, Trump is mermaid. Mermaid, yeah, from SpongeBob. Okay, I'll give you credit. That is freaking hilarious. Just for that, we gotta pull up a picture on screen of mermaid. Just mermaid from SpongeBob. If you guys don't know, shit, man. If Trump was mermaid, that would still be badass. I mean, shit. Mermaid is badass. We can't sit here and pretend that man isn't fighting crime in the Bikini Bottom. Nah, that's not even the... Where's the guy? Come on. Oh, here he is. Here's Mermaid. Mermaid Man. Come on. Mermaid Man is actually valid. Come on, guys. My screen is a bit dirty, but yeah, that's Mermaid. That guy is the Bikini Bottom superhero. Come on. Valid. That's Mermaid, just in case you don't know. Actually, maybe Biden. I don't know. Yeah, no, that's for sure Biden, because Mermaid can't remember, like, what his name was. That's for sure Biden. That is for sure Biden. I would say it's Trump, but Trump can actually remember his name. Didn't Mermaid have a partner? Let's see. What was Mermaid's partner in SpongeBob? Let me Google this. Aha! Nah, he's bald. He can't be Trump. I don't know, honestly. Mermaid is Biden for sure, though. Trump is more like Batman. As CNN said, your favorite news station.
Yeah, Batman, this is going to stick. Donald Trump would be having a field day with this. They're standing in what we can also now call Gotham City, aka Washington, D.C.
Oh.
I love Sky News. Sky News is hilariously funny. They hate Zoran Mondani so much. This dude was ambushed at an anti-Trump rally. They literally hate Trump, but they also hate Mondani.
Back to where you came from. We don't want you here on Staten Island.
Because he's not a Democrat. He's a communist. All of his...
He's not a Democrat. He's a communist. I love that. Wait, nobody is laboring under the delusion that a judge would actually release grand jury transcripts, right? Laughing my ass off. I'll debate this with anyone on stream. I mean, this is an interesting topic. I'm not going to say I know everything about it. You're the lawyer, not me. But we can talk about this and debate this on screen. But I want to hear what this Democrat lady has to say about Zoran. Zoran was born in Uganda. I really had a debate against the Democrat, and they said, no, he was born in America. I'm like, you goofball. Use Google right now, right here. I made him look it up. He's like, oh, my bad, bro. He was born in Uganda in Africa. Yeah, no shit. I know what I'm talking about.
Because he's not a Democrat. He's a communist. All of his plans. He's always said he was against people having private property. Now he doesn't say anything about it. He's also always been against having police, not only defunding them, he would love to get rid of them.
NYPD!
Oh, I'll give you this for free. Nothing is for free. There are things he's promising to get votes that he cannot do. He's a liar.
He's a commie! Oh, here's another Democrat. Let's skip to this Democrat interview about Mondani. Here's another guy. This looks like a regular New York kind of fella.
He's a socialist. You know that we're not socialists.
Are you a Republican?
Oh, he's a Republican. Never mind.
Are you born and raised Staten Island?
Yes, I am.
Have you ever seen a candidate like Donnie for?
Never will. You never see one after him, and he'll never get it.
That was interesting, but I like the First Lady's interview. Let's see if we can find another one. Okay, here's another interview right here. Let's see what these guys look like two Trumpers because, you know, American flag equals Trump. Not many Democrats out there waving the American flag, to be fair. Holy shit! You got a multi-million-dollar news network and you can't put a damn mic on these guys? Quote from the judge is his ruling or cap? It is facts. I don't know what Ozzy's saying, but where's Ozzy? Where's Ozzy in chat? Where's Ozzy? Okay, there's Ozzy. Ozzy and Chris back at it again. This audio is terrible.
Anti-Wall Street. And Wall Street is the capital, financial capital of the world. To me, that's a mockery of that.
Let's skip to Elizabeth Warren. Oh, God. Elizabeth Warren is backing this dude now? Why am I not surprised?
Someone stands up and says, I will lead this city by making it more affordable. And here are my plans, real plans.
New York City will never be affordable. Never. It never has and never will be.
We're going to try things on groceries. That is the Democratic message.
That's not democratic to give them state-ran grocery stores. That's a terrible idea. You ever been to the DMV and waited 2 or 3 hours?
To New York City and thinks that's a good idea. Well, I don't know. Curtis Lewa by the government. I saw this movie. It does.
All right, I think that's enough about Zuhran Mandami. Aha! President Zelensky indicates he may be ceding some land to Russia.
So what does it look like? What does success here look like? You know, if they have this meeting, it goes well, and then they have a second meeting. Does that involve then Ukraine giving up some of the territory that Russia has taken back through its invasion? And
Sure, I'll give you a great video. I'll play that video, Trump talking about the cartel members. But if you guys have any other video requests, anything you want me to show, drop a super chat. But I'll do this one for free because, you know, it's a great request. Why not?
World go for that and accept new borders if it brings an end to the killing.
According to reports, that's what Trump, Zelensky, and the European leaders had been talking about just a few days ago. And even Zelensky has made indications that he would be okay with giving up some land. You know, Crimea, Donbass, and Luhansk that have been occupied by Russia for years. Zelensky has indicated, again, there will have to be discussions. And Zelensky really wants security guarantees on top of that as well. If he does give up land, he wants guarantees from the West that Russia won't invade again. So there will have to be conversations. Zelensky will have to come to the table as well, a trilateral meeting or just between Zelensky and Putin. And we will have to see when that takes place. And Trump has also said that that will only happen if Putin is friendly and shows that he wants peace in this meeting in Anchorage tomorrow.
Would NATO membership be on the table for Ukraine as part of those peace guarantees, do you think?
Of course, Zelensky would love that, and he's been saying that he would either want NATO or nuclear weapons, but I think that NATO is completely off the table. I mean, every single country would have to agree, and Trump has said basically that it's not an option.
Yeah, and Ukraine, of course, gave up its...
Bless me, chat. Bless me.
This is a great lesson for a lot of the rest of us in the world. But tell me this here. Why is there so much panic in the media? And you see this, and you would see this with the press pack you're traveling with around this summit. Because, I'm old enough to remember through the height of the Cold War, U.S. presidents and Soviet premiers met regularly. But now to hear some people say even this mere sense of communication between the two men...
It starts at 11 a.m. Alaskan time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Fantastic. We'll be live streaming then. Trump meeting with Putin. It'll be fantastic. Awesome. Can't wait. Hit that like, subscribe button, and we will be live streaming 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time so we can see Trump meet with Putin live on the news.
Is somehow... some great show of weakness, and it could be a disaster for the West.
I mean, I think we will have to see what the results are tomorrow. And I think the panic comes from just Putin's history of invading other countries and not being completely straightforward and truthful with Trump. They've had several phone conversations, and Putin promises, and of course, as Trump says, the next day there's missiles. And with the Russians saying they want to talk about additional topics other than Ukraine, it does seem like the Russians have their own agenda, and it'll be up to Trump to kind of tamp that down and focus on what's important.
Yeah, well, finally then, how much of the concern, I guess, stems from the hangover of what was, we now know, the bogus Russiagate investigation, which started back in 2016, the Hillary Clinton plot to portray Trump as a Russian agent.
Is this guy trolling? He says free hummus. I love free hummus. But free Hamas from... not free Hamas. Free Palestine from Hamas. Free hummus. No, free Palestine from Hamas. Not free Hamas. Fuck Hamas. Respectfully, no. Not respectfully. Fuck them. My guy, you're telling me not to talk about Israel? You don't want to talk about Israel on camera because of your special Israeli donors. We know that. We know who law firms are really run by. That's why you don't want to speak about it on camera. We know who law firms are really ran by. It's not a secret. We know who runs the banks, and we know who runs the law firms. They don't only just run the banks, they also run the law firms. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. They run the banks and they run the law firms, and you know exactly who they are. Should we change to some Osmond Gold? Should we play a little bit of Osmond Gold? What do you guys think? Okay, now the next thing we promised was Trump talking about the cartels. Graham J. Fuentes. Brother, I'm not Nick Fuentes. I'm going to say this once again. Fuck Nick Fuentes. And, he's a government asset. I've been saying for maybe 6 months now that Nick Fuentes is a government asset. I have multiple live streams talking about it. Multiple screenshotted messages I can show. And just a couple days ago, Elon Musk confirmed on Twitter that Nick Fuentes is some form of government asset. I think he is a special forces unit of the FBI, anti-Israeli propaganda unit. Nick Fuentes. First, he worked with the CIA or the FBI to try to get Trump propped up. And then when he won, or when he started to win, he said, no, fuck Trump, this and that. He's too pro-Israel. His commanders took over.
Let's go right now to former Deputy National Security Advisor under President Trump, KT McFarland. KT, it's great to see you again. Thank you for joining us. What is your take on Griff Jenkins' reporting here?
This is really significant for several reasons. I mean, one is getting bad guys off the street. That's good. But it's also a real symbol of the success.
More than 100,000 Americans apply to join ICE. Wow. Guess I can't join ICE anymore, guys. I'm pissed. More than 100,000 people applied.
Pointed out didn't cooperate. president is cooperating, and cooperating in several different ways. One, helping us.
Boring.
He respects law enforcement, Americans, but they never.
No, I want to hear Trump talk. I don't want to listen to this lady talk. She sounds boring. She needs to put more energy into what she says. That $50,000 bonus. Oh my God. Before I leave, can chat type poopy in show of unity? Come on, chat. Everyone drop that for Chris down below. I know you see the super chat. Let's get some unity going for Chris here. Hey, Evan Almighty, how are you doing? Trump is meeting with Putin today in person in Alaska in the United States. Oh, Obama's back and ever, the shadow president king. He's back with his husband, Mike Obama. He's looking pretty good, looking pretty sharp. Looking pretty sharp, not gonna lie there, not gonna lie, buddy old pal. Extra ice. Extra ice.
Mexico is saying that I offered to send U.S. troops into Mexico to take care of the cartel. She wants to know, is that true? Do you think I'm going to answer that question?
That's why I'm asking. We'll see.
I will answer it. It's true. If Mexico wanted help with the cartels, we would be honored to go in and do it. I told her that. I would be honored to go in and do it. The cartels are trying to destroy our country. They're evil. She's so afraid of the cartels she can't walk, so that's the reason. And I think she's a lovely woman. But the president of Mexico is a lovely woman. But she is so afraid of the cartels that she can't even think straight. Mexico is saying that I offered to send U.S. troops into Mexico to take care of the cartels. She wants to know, is that true?
W's! W's for Ozzy and Tracy. Biden would have never gave a hell about ending the war in anywhere for that matter. He never ended a single war. He only started wars. Second off, Biden didn't give a damn about stopping the cartel either. If he stopped the cartel, how is Hunter Biden gonna get his cocaine for crack? You gotta get the ingredients. You gotta get the ingredients. Oh, I see PBD podcast is live. Well, good to see other people are also live streaming talking about this thing going on right now. Even though they're way bigger than me. Trump is weighing in on a U.S. stake in Intel. Interesting.
The Trump administration is talking with Intel.
I don't want to hear your damn voiceover. We had this perfectly good video of Trump, and they want to put a freaking AI voiceover. Shame on them. Screw AI. Screw AI. I hate AI voiceovers. It hurts my ears. My hair is getting long again, guys. I'm going to have to get it cut soon. The one thing I agree on you with. Okay. Let's watch this. I want to see.
Well, let's look at how CNN covered this tour.
Look.
CNN's Dana Bash sat down with Bernie Sanders for an interview where she complimented him so much he was almost blushing and he was giggling, and she compared him to the Pope. Look at this.
Something that I'm sure you have seen, a Gallup poll. Did you see this Gallup poll?
Yep.
And what the Gallup poll found was that you are one of the most widely admired Americans. And I believe you're only second to the Pope.
You want me to declare my candidacy for Pope?
I don't think.
Gabbard is evidence of a gross violation of the law. This, of course, comes after Tulsi Gabbard alleged that documents show the Obama administration promoted a contrived narrative.
Did she just say the Obama? The Obama administration? It's pronounced Obama.
You indict people because they broke the law. But if you look at what Tulsi and Kash Patel have revealed in the last couple of weeks, I don't know how anybody can look at that and say that there wasn't aggressive violations of the law.
The Vice President was pretty clear there. What can we expect?
Look, I'm hopeful that we see some kind of movement on this. I think too many times people get excited about something and then it doesn't happen because the government can't always deliver for the American people like we want it to. At the same time, I think J.D. Vance is right.
J.D. Vance is right. J.D. Vance is right. CNN calls out Democrats' opposition to Trump pathetic.
Well, the Democrats...
Why am I agreeing with CNN more and more? CNN calls out Democrats' pathetic opposition to Trump's D.C. crime crackdown. Why? What kind of world do we live in? Why is CNN flipping their opinions on Trump? Why? I don't know. Oh shit, I accidentally clicked the mute button. There is no audio, there's nothing. This is just straight spaghetti gate. This is spaghetti gate. Can you hear me now? Yeah, I accidentally clicked the muted button. Can you hear me? Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Spaghetti Gate, Eric Trump. This is for Chris. Chris has this picture in his house. It's hung up on his wall. I've seen it in his bedroom before. On live stream, he showed us. Let's see, any more Spaghetti Gate evidence? Let's see, any more Spaghetti Gate evidence? Nope, there's limited Spaghetti Gate evidence. That's all we have at the moment.
Are in shambles. It's been 9 months since they...
Oh, we can't forget this, guys. We can't forget this. This was hilarious. Look at these weirdos.
They lost the election and they're still failing to develop a strong attack line. They push back against anything and everything that Donald Trump does, even when the president is making decisions that will improve the safety of citizens. And what is more important than safety and making sure that cities are safe to live in? Democrats might want to think about that because their latest pathetic attempt to fight back against Trump's crime crackdown in Washington, D.C. is...
You Discord messaged me evidence. I'll have to check out this evidence for proof. But I tried to find evidence. I looked, I searched. Where do I gotta look for evidence?
It's embarrassing. DC is a city with one of the highest violent crime and homicide rates in America. Just this year, there have been 100 homicides, and we'll show you how much they seem to care about this in a moment. But here is Donald Trump earlier this week showing real leadership.
Going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department.
Why are you screaming? Is it because you want me to read this out loud or something? What the hell is this button doing? Yeah, let's turn off that bullshit. How the hell did we have touch-up on? The gay little touch-up button. Good morning, Burnell. How are you doing, brother? Show the evidence. You want me to show the evidence? A direct quote? Chris, you're really going to make me hop off stream to open my Discord? I really should have Discord on my computer. Wait, do I have it on my computer? Let me see. It makes like no sense not to have it on here. But good morning, Burnell. Trump is going to come back from Alaska with a deal. It's Friday, everyone. It's payday. Let's get some super chats dropping and rolling. If you have any video requests, we can play it. Okay, he says no, no, no. Okay, fair enough.
You how much they seem to care about this in a moment, but here is Donald Trump earlier this week showing real leadership.
Going to take our capital back. We're taking it back.
Hi, Burnell. I love you.
As the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that.
And if you need reminding of how the Democrats handled crime in D.C., well, here's Joe Biden's White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre back in 2023, announcing that the Democrats backed a law to reduce the penalties for crimes such as murder.
We have a couple of things that I just want to
lay out. Disgusting. She was horrible.
What the bill does, it reduces maximum penalties for offenses like murders and other homicides, armed home invasion burglaries, armed carjacking.
Wow, we should definitely not reduce the sentences for that, you fucking pinhead.
Assault offenses.
Reducing penalties.
Bowling ball looking ass.
That ought to do it. Well, it turns out what DC needed was a new president, and Donald Trump's crime crackdown is already working. On the first day, federal and local
worst press secretary in history. She was a DEI hire.
Offenses and other crimes. But the Democrats, they just don't want to know about it. Senator Chuck Schumer would rather the out-of-control crime.
Biden staffers were filming gay corn in the Senate building, but we're not allowed to talk about it. Dems are disgusting. They were filming gay corn in the Senate building? Oh, I gotta research this. Let me do my homework about this. Biden staff members This would be crazy. That is absolutely mind-boggling. Thank you, Ozzy, for that super chat, by the way. Wait a second. What does this say? Hold on. Hold the door. Holy shit! Holy shit! Do not look this up. I can't even show this on YouTube. But all I'm going to say is if you look on Google, you're going to see the proof. Biden let gay corn be recorded in the Senate hearing room. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Chris, you got to look this up. Biden staff members. Gay corn. Senate staff. Look it up on Google Images. I ain't shitting you. It's a censored image. I'm not going to show it on here, but damn. Oh shit, they fired the dude. They fired the dude. All I'm going to show is this. I'm just going to show this. I'm just going to show that. This was the freak that was Biden's Senate staff member. You see that? I'm going to cover that word right there because, you know, I'm just going to cover it for obvious reasons. But damn, Biden's shit was a freak show. I did not know that, Ozzy. I did not know that. Why did they fire him if Biden allowed it? I don't know, because, there's other people. But all I can say is this is never going to happen under Trump. This shit would never happen under Trump. Jesus Christ, I did not know that. Biden staff members allowed gay corn in Senate staff room. Levitt should be making sandwiches. Yeah, I can agree with you. I can agree with that. Doesn't mean that she should lose her job, but she should be making me sandwiches. Yeah. Come on. Levitt looks hell of a lot better than that black bowling ball looking ass bitch. Look at that. Come on. Come on, Chris. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Now let's look at Biden's. That versus this, Chris. Which one? The health secretary. We'll never forget you. Real healthy. Real health. This is what real Democrat health looks like. That's a man. That is a man that's 300 pounds. Let's take a look. We'll pull her photo up. Let's take a look. She looks like Yulsa from Little Mermaid, to be fair. Man, she has a bowling ball looking head ass. Tell me she doesn't look like a brown bowling ball. Come on. Tell me she doesn't look like a brown bowling ball. I just want to go to the nearest bowling alley, use that head as a nice ball down the lanes, and I'm going to get strikes all the way down. I'm going to get strikes all the way down, 110%. She was a DEI hire. Tell me she wasn't a DEI. Let's see if we type in DEI, if anything pops up with her. Nope, nothing pops up. Nothing pops up, I guess. But comedian? Nah, not really. Let's look up Yulsa from Little Mermaid. I don't really know that stuff too well. Oh shit! Oh fuck! Nah, sure. Her head is more round than Ulsa. Her head is more round, that is for sure. But a little bit similar, but her head is more round. Come on, man, we're making a little bit of jokes. We talked about their policies. And all seriousness, like, we can go back to the topic. Karine Pereira, whatever her name is, she literally said, oh, Biden's lessening the murder sentences for criminals. Isn't that great? No, hell no, that ain't great. Give them the penalty.
In 2023, announcing that the Democrats backed a law to reduce the penalties for crimes such as murder.
We have a couple of things that I just want to lay out for all of you and on what the DC bill does. It reduces maximum penalties for offenses like murders and other homicides, armed home invasion burglaries, armed carjackings, as I mentioned, armed robberies, unlawful gun possession, and some sexual assault offenses.
We are not snowflakes.
Reducing penalties for crimes such
I'll bring liberalism to America as president, but in a show of unity, I'll hire Burnell as vice president. I would support that. If you ran for president and you had a little bit of liberalism, I know you don't believe in letting minors cut their wieners off, and I know you don't believe in getting rid of capitalism. You love capitalism, so you know what? You got my vote. Especially if Burnell was there to keep your ass in check. Man, Burnell is going to keep your ass in check like you never seen before. I actually need to see Chris and Burnell meet face to face. Face to face. Capitalism is based. The thing is, I just don't know why you hang out on Discord sometimes in the voice chat and talk with communists and socialists and tankies. It's like commies, socialists, and tankies are your best friends in that Discord, my guy. Like, come on.
Much as murder, that ought to do it. Well, it turns out what DC needed was a new president, and Donald Trump's crime crackdown is already working. On the first day, federal and local authorities arrested 23 people, including suspects wanted for murder, gun offences, and other crimes. But the Democrats, they just don't want to know about it. Senator Chuck Schumer would rather the out-of-control crime just continue because he's never personally been affected.
A lot of folks on the Republican side, your Republican colleagues, say that they are very scared to walk outside in D.C., that they think this is completely the right thing to do. Senator, are you scared walking around Washington, D.C. these days?
No, I'm not scared. I got private security and they carry fully automatics. Guns aren't allowed in DC, but my private security can handle fully automatic firearms in DC. So it's okay. It's plenty safe. We need to stop Trump.
I walk around all the time. I wake up early in the morning sometimes and take a nice walk.
You're not leftist enough for him.
Capitol and the
Sometimes he wakes up in the morning, has about 5 to 6 security guards, 6'8", 350 pounds, escort him for his nice walk.
monuments and things, and I feel perfectly safe.
That's exactly why they're not right-wing enough. I mean, you're not left-wing enough for them. You're not a complete radical leftist commie. That's why they say you're too right.
Look, here's what they've done, Aaron. Plain and simple. Donald Trump wants to distract.
Even the mainstream media gets it. Of course, there have been some meltdowns, which we'll show later in the program, but even left-wing hosts have been admitting that liberals in DC are privately cheering about this because they want to live in a safe city. And you know the Democrats have a real problem when they can't even be smart enough to pick their battles. They're right now essentially fighting for crime to stay high as they push back against Donald Trump. But even CNN has been forced to report that the Democrats have completely stuffed up their response to this. This is a CNN article out this week that says Donald Trump gets what he wants in DC. Crackdown as Democrats fumble response. And I think Donald Trump might be onto something here when he says...
Oh, look, I find myself agreeing more and more with CNN. And funny enough, I'm really not a far right guy. I'm actually more central. And I actually believe in lots of liberal policies. I love social programs. I would like free education in the United States. It's never going to happen for college university. I would like free healthcare in the United States, but it's never going to happen. But there's plenty of other things that I'm more liberal on. I have 20 grand monthly overhead and I don't have the luxury of entertaining silliness. Hey, I get you, my guy. That's a lot of overhead. But you know what's silly? The DC freaking guys, I get what you were trying to say about all this Trump stuff, but when you said that Trump is a fascist for trying to protect DC, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it.
They're stuck. They don't know what to do. They have probably more, I would say more than half are sane.
Let's get to 100 likes though, guys. We're almost there. Well, that was short. I thought that was going to go on for a little bit longer. Huh. Capitol cleanup. What do you guys want to see? You told me why you think Trump is fascist. We need to go into it in full detail. We need to both sit in front of our computers. We need to have the points and definitions of exactly what you're claiming Trump is. Because if we have your 14 points of fascism and we have the definition of fascism, there's no denying that Trump does not fit in these things. It's common sense. Should we watch Obama step in as Manzami, slips down?
New York City's mayoral election now less than 3 months away.
Oof! Oh, we're going to get Zohami, Mandami before the end of the year in New York. Man, that is sad. Should I make it to New York before he comes back and destroys it even worse than it already is? What do you guys think? Tell me in the chats. One last trip to New York City before Mandami's Rouhani destroys it, or no? Adios, Chris. Adios. Have a great rest of your day. And have a great Friday. Enjoy the family and enjoy Massachusetts. That dude Mandami is going to be the worst. No shit. I'm praying to God. Renell, what state do you live in, if you don't mind me asking? I'm just curious. Everyone drop down in the comments. What state do you live in? W's for mods. Trump is the best ever. I'll be honest, I don't know Hugh. Cali, you're in Cali. Oregon. VA, but in France right now? Nice. Hope you're enjoying France. Tennessee? Cool. Love Tennessee. California, Northern Carolina, Texas. Awesome. Peace out, Chris. Arkansas, Tennessee. Nah, I don't know if I'll make it to New York this year, but I definitely have plans to go to Las Vegas to the Trump Towers. I don't know if it's going to happen at 20,000 subscribers, probably, maybe not. Either 20,000, 25,000, or 30,000, or somewhere in the middle. But we're going to do a live stream video of the Trump Towers, Las Vegas. We're going to see the Sphere in Las Vegas. I know what you guys are going to say. Trump Towers doesn't have a casino in Vegas. Okay, I don't go to Vegas to gamble. Believe it or not, I like Vegas a lot. It's becoming a little bit too left-wing, but I do love Vegas. And, I don't go there to gamble. I hate gambling. I save my money. Yeah, I don't gamble. Trump is the most popular Republican president in the last 60 years. But, yeah, I'll go to Trump Towers in Las Vegas. So it'll be interesting. And then I might go to Los Angeles. We'll see. If I don't go to Los Angeles, then maybe I will go to New York before Mandami ruins it. But definitely Vegas. Vegas, definitely Florida. First Florida, of course. My plan is to go to Florida soon. Then go to Las Vegas is the next stop to the Trump Towers. Then the third or fourth stop, or the third stop either California, Los Angeles, California, even though it's a shithole and people don't like Trump. I mean, it's not a shithole. It's not all bad. It's pretty decent, but they just have their problems. Everywhere has their problems. And then I'll go to New York City. Possibly. We'll see. We'll see, guys. Either New York or Cali. We'll see about that.
Self-described Democrat socialist Zoran Mamdani is gracing the cover of Time magazine now, highlighting his unlikely rise as a frontrunner. Time magazine.
Oh, this man does not deserve to be on Time magazine. What has this world came to? What has this world came to? It's sad to see. It is sad to see.
Is highlighting Mamdani going on a 5-borough tour, where the main message of his tour is fighting back against the Trump administration. The state assemblyman's policies have been widely criticized as something that would not work in America's hub of capitalism. Here he is in the Bronx yesterday defending city-run grocery stores. Watch this.
The plan to have one municipal-owned grocery store in each borough, 5 in total, is part of a vision of a public option.
New York City and LA are shitholes, but I would still like to visit. I would visit, maybe I'm not going to say it. I would visit possibly India. Probably not, maybe not. And India is a shithole. In my opinion, India is a shithole. Yeah, you can call me out, say whatever you want. But I think India is a shithole. I don't think I will visit it anytime soon. But I would visit some places in the Middle East and some other countries that are shitholes just to check it out. So why don't I visit New York and LA? I've been to New York City like 20 times. Why don't I go to LA or New York City?
For produce. an understanding that for far too many
Alaska is awesome, man. I want to go to Alaska.
The importance in city government of reasonable policy experimentation. It's not in opposition to grocery store owners or bodega owners. This is something that can together be actually used to increase competitiveness, as we've seen public options do so in the past.
Fox News Digital is reporting that a former executive for George Soros' Open Society Foundation, Patrick Gaspard, is helping connect the Mamdani campaign to the Obama.
Wait for the FIFA World Cup 2028 Olympics. See how quickly they clean it up. No kidding, right?
World. The New York Times reports that Mamdani was introduced to the Obama campaign manager, David Axelrod. So we know that Mamdani had a phone call with Obama yesterday, Jerry, and he talked a little about what the former president had to say.
Well, and
yes, I'm scared that the Democrats are going to get me. That's why my hand is a little bit shaky.
Tips on how better to hone his message. You know, I just have to go back to Mamdani's thought there where he's saying he wants to increase the competitiveness among grocery store operators. There is nothing more competitive than running a grocery store. Their margins are 2 to 3%, and to think that the government could be more efficient is frankly folly. This hagiography that Time magazine published, calling him a very elegant, gifted, less radical than painted politician, is an embarrassment.
The great thing is if I go to LA, I can wear my MAGA hat. I can go to Skid Row. I can pull up, maybe, you know, hiding in a car with the windows down. I'll be like, look at this shithole. Look what the Democrats did. That would make a good live stream for sure.
To true journalists.
And I can go feed the homeless.
Also, you know,
let's buy some pizzas and feed the homeless.
Standard possible for a politician, saying that, you know, he's asking the right questions. Really? Is
of
that
course, if I go to LA or New York, I gotta feed the homeless.
what it takes to run the city of New York? Somebody who can ask questions?
Well, business people have been complaining about Mamdani ever since he came on the scene, Mark. But it looks like when you look at these polls, if you look at everyone who is in place right now, Cuomo, Sliwa, Adams.
And yes, when I go to New York City or if I go to LA or if I feed some homeless people in Las Vegas, I'm going to stream it. And I know what you guys are going to scream. Oh, why are you making content off feeding the homeless? How do you think we're going to keep feeding the homeless? With the super chat donations and the memberships and all the support the channel gets. How do you think we'll be able to help the homeless? The live streams can help me help the homeless. It's that simple. We're going to feed the people that deserve it. We're not going to give the drug addicts money, but we're going to feed the homeless. We're going to feed the homeless. Let me say it for the people in the back. We're not going to give the drug addicts cash, but we're going to feed the homeless.
And Mamdani's winning.
Yeah, and I mean, the Time magazine cover overall, in my opinion, is highly symbolic because it suggests that Mamdani is not fringe like maybe he was a few months ago. He's actually the new face of the Democratic Party going forward. And it turns
he's
out
a socialist, a commie. He's not a Democrat.
And you promise to give people things.
Charismatic.
Any clue as to how
yeah, if you promise to give people things, they'll probably like you. But he's not charismatic. I promise you that.
You're going to give them those items or handouts or benefits, you might win. You know, and that is that's probably going to be the Democrats' playbook going forward. And I've said this before, Maria, I'll say it again. I wish all voters were educated on just one simple economic concept, and that is the fact that the U.S. government, your state government, or your
smash the like and subscribe button.
There are no free handouts. There's no such thing as a free lunch. You have to take money from high earners to even think about giving anyone any benefits or handouts at all. And if you start to irritate those high earners, you overtax them, they will leave. And then you have killed the golden goose, and there's no way to provide any handouts at all. It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen evidence of that time and time again, and yet young people want Mamdani in place. It's incredible.
They love the free food stamps and the handouts. What the hellium? Any questions? Any comments? Any video requests? Anyone want a video request? Brunel, you got a video request? Does anyone have a video request? Any news? Any topics you want me to talk about, discuss? Let me know, guys. Let me know. But Trump will be in Russia or not in Russia. I'm talking like Trump now. Trump will be in Alaska pretty soon. Yeah, I accidentally called Alaska Russia, just like Trump did. Big whoop. Both me and Trump work a lot. Any questions, comments? John Podesta's emails. Let me do my homework. Let me do my homework on John Podesta's emails. Former White House chief, John Podesta. Hillary Clinton's leaked email with John Podesta. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. If we got any comments, questions, anything you want to discuss, let me know, guys. Drop some super chats. What airline is the best for Montenegro? Well, I would always, recommend, of course. I mean, it depends where you're coming from. But to get to Montenegro, what's the best airline? I can look it up right now and tell you. I mean, I have my computer in front of me. Let's see, California to. We're gonna put you in Dubrovnik, Croatia, and then you're gonna walk. Not Spirit, yeah, no shit. Then you're gonna walk into. You're not gonna walk. You're gonna drive into Montenegro because the airports in Montenegro do not have any direct flights, and we want to get you a direct flight. Actually, you know what we'll do? You're gonna have to fly from California to New York first. We're going to do New York to Dubrovnik. Let's see what we can recommend you. What airlines do I like? Let's see what the options are. United, American. British Airways is pretty decent. I will say that. British Airways is pretty good. I like British Airways. Yeah, I like British Airways. But the options are American, British Airways, Delta. I don't really like Delta, to be honest with you. Delta's fine, though. These are all fine places. But if I had to pick any airline out of the airlines that they're offering, American, British, Delta, Iberian is pretty good. I can recommend Iberian. I would recommend British or Iberia. Or Swiss, but then you have to stop in Switzerland. But the Swiss airline is one hell of an airline, too. Actually, you know what? I'm going to re-rank it. I'll put Swiss on number 1, but it's not a direct flight. So maybe that's why it's not the best. But Swiss, oof. I love Swiss Airlines. Number 2, I will put... Oh, they have an Austrian one, too. Okay, we'll put number 2 as Austrian one, but it's not a direct flight either. But I will put, Austria as number 2. But these are not direct flights. Now we're going to go into the direct flights. The only non-stopped way to get to New York to Dubrovnik is United Airlines. That's the only way. United to Dubrovnik. It's the only way. 9 hours. That's the only way. So I would say, I guess United is not terrible either. So I guess just take United if you want a direct way. But if you're talking about the best airline, you don't mind a stop, then maybe Swiss, Austrian, or British. British is good too, but it also has one stop. But the only direct flight is, United Airlines. That's all I'm seeing. But Burnell, you should become a member. You should become a YouTube member like Lunchbox, like a couple other people. That's the best way to support the channel is by becoming a YouTube member. You get a special star around your name in chat. I'm going to come out with a custom icon for all. Yep. Like Andrea. Sorry, Andrea, not Adrian. Andrea. Just like Andrea, you should become a YouTube member. It's Friday, Burnell. It's payday. Become a YouTube member. And if you guys got any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about. Also, in the YouTube membership, you get... What's in the name? It's okay. I'm just a retard. I'm not the best. I mispronounce things, my pronunciation. I think I'm a really good speaker, but my pronunciations are not 100% the best. That's where I got to work on a little bit. Hey, thank you, Burnell. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you for joining the membership. Now you also got the thing. Welcome, Burnell. Welcome. Say W, Burnell. Welcome, Burnell. Burnell, are you interested in seeing the price right now to fly from Dubrovnik? You can fly to Newark, which is in New Jersey. I've been in this airport before. I don't really like it, to be honest with you, but it's fine. Stop calling yourself names. We don't want to feed the trolls. Fair enough. We don't want to feed the trolls. But yeah, I'll go ahead and show you. This is actually a pretty good price. This is a pretty good deal. Right here, you know, it's you can fly directly from Newark to Dubrovnik. Not too much leg room. I can definitely recommend you pay a couple $100 extra to get the extra leg room. But it's about, 559 euros, which is like 620 US dollars. But that's a pretty good, decent deal. 9-hour flight overnight. It leaves at 4:15 p.m. You arrive in Dubrovnik the next day at 7:15 a.m. You can start your day off. Then you can drive Dubrovnik is only a 30-minute drive to Montenegro. That's why I'm saying just fly to Dubrovnik and drive into Montenegro. It's only 30 minutes. It's amazing. It's fantastic. And Dubrovnik is amazing too. I would actually recommend if you get to Dubrovnik at 7:15 a.m., say you did take these exact flight times, I would recommend to stay in Dubrovnik for at least 5 or 6 hours. It's a pretty cool place. Or maybe stay there until like 6 or 7 p.m. Oh, this guy is hilariously angry. Oh, you're mad, buddy. Just calm down. It's just a Trump hat. It's just President Trump being our president for the next 3.5 years. There's plenty of reasons why I love Trump. I love his, deportation of illegal immigrants. I love his strong economy. I love his tariffs. Would it be better if I just showed you like a background of all the things that I like about Trump? Hold on. Blue hair is in chat. Inflation is lower than ever, guys. Let's get to 100 likes, though. Hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Like, subscribe. Here we go. Here we go. Andrea. Love you guys as well. Look, there you go. Tariffs worked. The border's secure. Egg prices are down. Gas is less expensive. Inflation is under control. Stock market is soaring. That is fantastic. People love Trump in the EU. I've been to 20 countries, most of them European, and people love Trump in the EU. I have people when I'm in environments in Europe and the EU, when I tell people I'm American and they say, "Oh, do you like Trump?" And I say, "Yeah." And they say, "Oh, we love Trump too. Of course we love Trump. Now, not everyone has that same reaction. Someone says, "Ah, he's a shitbag. He's cocky. He's arrogant." But no, I defend this man. He's my president. At the end of the day, don't talk shit about my president if I'm coming to if I'm visiting your country. Don't talk shit about my president unless you want me to talk shit about your president. And if I talk shit about your EU government and your president, you're probably going to cry because your EU countries are shit shows. The best countries in Europe are all Eastern European non-EU nations. Hey, Ozzy, welcome to the members. Welcome to the members. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Iron your Trump hat. I'm actually not going to iron it because I got a new Make America Great Again hat coming very soon. 2 Trump hats coming. So that's going to be fantastic. And yeah, we're just going to like retire this one relatively soon. And then we're going to have the Make America Great Again hat with the American flag on the side and it says Trump on the back. It's spectacular. I do own an iron, but that's not even like a funny joke. So what? So what if a grown man doesn't own an iron? Boo-hoo. I do own an iron, though. What if I was just getting all my clothes dry cleaned? Wouldn't you feel stupid then? Win after win. More winning, please. Ah, there you are. Croat. Why don't you go back to Croatia if you don't like President Trump? Get your ass back to Croatia, a nice conservative country. Why don't you get your ass back to Croatia? It's very conservative, very right-wing. They have gun rights. Matter of fact, if you're visiting Croatia or Montenegro, you're welcome to go to a local shooting range and pick up a firearm and get to firing off some shots for fun. Very right-wing. Spectacular MAGA. That's the most disgusting thing about the left. They're sitting here pretending like they cared about the Epstein files the whole time, as if they didn't just sit there silently during Joe Biden. That is 100% accurate. By the way, for all the members out there, for anyone that wants to support and join the members, there is some exclusive live streams and content under it. Some of my live streams, that I think should be members only, I put them under members only. If you want, here's an example. If you want to see a MAGA debating a socialist, there is one under the members only currently. There is a debate, members only, that's currently under there. If you missed that a couple days ago, members can now see it. You lefties are honestly amazing because you have a method to ironing a hat. Why don't you one of you lefties get over here and iron my hat? How about that? Since you're saying I gotta iron it, come over right now. Come iron my hat for me. And make me a sandwich while you're at it. I got my own iron. Come over and iron my hat. Make me a sandwich. Sounds fair enough to me. Guys, let's get to 100 likes. Liberals could make a sandwich if it was ready to go, made to go. If it was made to go, yeah. No, liberals probably can't even make a sandwich. It would have to take a centralist or more of a conservative woman to make me a sandwich and iron my hat. But I don't want I don't want them making me a sandwich either, unless it's a damn good sandwich. I'm trying to see what news clips are out there. I got a sandwich for the liberals, gee. I know what sandwich you're talking about. You're talking about this sandwich. That's the sandwich you have for them. Am I a MAGA? Why wouldn't I want to make America great again? That makes no sense to me. Why wouldn't I? Trump 2.0 is the best. Yeah, Trump 2.0 is a lot better than Trump 1.0. I'll give you that. It's, even the Democrats hate him now more than they hated him during his first term. That's how you know he's more effective.
A lot of people's attention. But what does it really mean, and how does it affect you? Disability and survivor benefits has been around since
Trump just got rid of taxes on Social Security. Gave a like. Thank you. We're almost at 100, guys. Let's get to 100 likes. So much winning. So much. I'm fed up with Gavin Newsom, to be honest with you. It disgusts me whenever someone says, oh, I love Gavin Newsom. Why the hell do you like a man that stole $100 million in fire aid money from LA? Why the hell do you like a man that has lost $24 billion for the homeless? One more like, guys. Everyone, double tap that screen, like, subscribe. Hell yeah. Free YSL. No, I'm just kidding. They're all free now. But yeah, I do. Greetings, Chief. Greetings. What am I, your tax attorney? Why do you want me to explain about your taxes? Let's just put on some Newsmax. Guys, hit double tap that screen. We got trolls in the chat that are unliking the video. Trolls in chat. I need all my MAGA to spam the screen with likes. Dems eat corn dogs the long way. Gavin Newsom destroyed California. Damn right. I'm trying to look for some interesting videos. Hold on, guys. Let's watch Trump's jet take off.
McFarland. KT, it's great to have you with us this morning, and it is a big day today. The last time President Putin...
Oh, what the hell? I have my green screen on. Oops.
Back in 2015, the last time Trump and Putin met in person was 2019. I know you've recently outlined how Trump's Putin strategy shows his negotiation genius. Can you tell us more about
Trump's
what are your
jet
thoughts on today's summit?
Air Force One.
President Trump is unlike any president I've worked for, and I've been in the White House Situation Room with 4 presidents going back to Nixon. The difference is President Trump gets an idea of what he wants to achieve, in this case, peace in Ukraine. He's not quite sure how he's going to get there, And so he's going to try option A and option B and option C. Option A, he was going to get both the Russians and the...
Thank you, Burnell. You're doing it great.
Basically with his charm and personality. Didn't work. So option B, use economic and military pressure. It worked with Ukraine. They're at the table. It did not work with Vladimir Putin. So today's all about option C. Now, if it doesn't work, what happens? There'll be an option D. And what's option D? Serious consequences to the Russian economy. There are a lot of things President Trump can do to really bring the Russian economy to a crippling halt. He doesn't want to do that because what he really is looking for is a way past Ukraine, and he wants a relationship with Russia that might pull Russia away from the Chinese orbit.
And we've been talking a lot this week about the serious consequences, because those were the words, of course, that Donald Trump used when talking about this, KT. And what do you think? I know you said that's option D, of course. What do you think some of those consequences may be? Obviously, we're talking about sanctions and really hitting the Russian economy.
Yeah, no, we don't do any real trading with Russia, so we don't sanction them. It doesn't really matter. But a lot of other countries do, and they buy Russian oil, they buy Russian natural gas. So we could impose secondary sanctions on those countries. Now, countries are not supposed to buy Russian stuff, but they do. They violate the sanctions, whether it's India or China or Turkey. They all violate those sanctions, and they buy Russian oil and gas. In fact, some European countries still violate the sanctions and buy Russian natural gas. So what could we do? We go to those countries. All of them need to trade in the United States, have access to our market. And as President Trump said to India, look, stop buying Russian oil. If you do continue to buy Russian oil, we're going to charge you such high tariffs you'll never be able to sell your goods in America. So that's one thing we can do. And without that oil income, Russia's broke, can't fight any wars, can't do much of anything. Number two is that Russia has about $300 billion in a frozen reserve fund. We could unfreeze that and access that and maybe give it to the Ukrainians. And then there's another thing, probably the most potent.
Hell no, don't steal money to give it to Ukraine.
Leave the U.S. banking
If you give it to Ukraine, they should pay the U.S. the money they owe us.
Freeze Russia out of that. So Russia could be walking away. Plan B is a really bleak economic prospect for Russia.
And we know that Zelensky flew to Germany, and him, along with other European leaders, of course, had that video conference call with President Trump a few days ago ahead of this summit. How do you think our allies are viewing this meeting between Trump and Putin?
Well, they're all clutching their pearls, right? And they're all saying, oh, you can't give up any of Ukraine, you can't do this.
Yes, we have to. We won't win the war for Ukraine.
They're fighting. They're getting American weapons. A lot of it is now paid for by the Europeans. But what do the Europeans want? They want World War III? Do they really want the United States and NATO?
Charity begins at home inside the United States.
At the art of the possible. Sometimes you have to negotiate with guys you don't like because you need to have the prospect of peace going forward. And I think that's what Donald Trump's doing.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I think that's it for right now, guys. We'll be live streaming in a couple hours, probably when, Trump gets to Alaska and he starts meeting with Putin. We're going to live stream the whole thing. Colt. Or we might go live maybe an hour or two before Trump meets with President Putin in Alaska. So I'll see you guys in a little bit, a couple hours. I hope you have a great Friday. If you haven't already, join the Discord, link in the bio. And yeah. I'm sorry if Ahmad deleted you. Peace out, guys. Peace out. See you guys in a few hours.